So my name is Joel Tyner. I'm a county legislator for Rhinebeck and Clinton. Got elected 5 times in a row. I'm still in office. Didn't even have an opponent last November. And I'm a Democratic candidate for Congress in the 19th Congressional District. Jay Wenk is here as well. He's going to say a few words after me, who's a member of the Woodstock Town Board. And then everybody is invited to say something. One of the biggest reasons why we're here today, aside from Gloria Waslin, is Cameron Williams, who's done a lot of work with Catskill Mountain Keeper. Cameron educated me about how part of Woodstock is in the New York City watershed, and part of Woodstock is not in the New York City watershed. The part of the town that's in the New York City watershed is protected from fracking. The part of Woodstock, like right here, next to the Sawkill Creek, and there's, Xena Cornfield, thanks to Woodstock Land Conservancy for all their work on that. Right here, this is not in the New York City watershed, so it can be fracked. And there's, as Cameron and Catskill Mountain Keeper have educated me, all of Woodstock is in the Marcellus Shale, and the Utica Shale runs underneath the Marcellus Shale. So 4 years ago, the truck was just going by. 4 years ago, I started a petition against fracking. There's 1,100 people signed on to that petition. It's petitiononline.com/no-drill with a capital N and a capital D, all lowercase otherwise. Petitiononline.com/no-drill. And for a year now, I've been pushing for a complete ban on fracking statewide, not just in the watersheds of New York City and Syracuse. And in the 90s, I had a number of conversations with the late, great Richard Grossman, Ulster County resident, recently passed away. I was there last summer at the Art Society of Kingston for a big event with Richard Grossman, and I agree with Richard Grossman that fracking needs to be criminalized. And I know that Jay Wenk and a lot of people here are here because of that, because it's a lot harder to make changes to the penal code than it is to overturn a ban. I would also say this, that Bill McKibben, 350.org, Citizens Environmental Coalition, Greenpeace, 67 different groups sent a letter to President Obama last summer saying there needs to be a complete, immediate national moratorium on fracking across the country. So I'm for that too, all right? A statewide ban, criminalize it, an immediate national moratorium. Now, the other guy in this race is not a bad guy, all right? He's not a bad guy. He's sort of a little bit like Janice, unfortunately, he talks a little bit too much out of both sides of his mouth. He goes around telling groups that he's against fracking, but here's the problem, okay? A couple of weeks ago, Alan Chartock, my good buddy on WAMC, had Julian Schreibman on for Congressional Corner, and to Alan's credit, he asked Julian, so, President Obama pushing fracking in the State of the Union address, what do you think about that? And Julian's response was, well, I don't really see a lot of space between myself and the president on this issue. So, if you want, if that's what you want, to represent you, with all due respect, and I use the phrase loosely, and if he wins the primary, I will slave away for Julian. But if that's what you want, then roll over and play dead. There's your Democratic nominee. But I got to tell you something. Ulster County is on fire for this campaign. Dutchess County is in play. My opponent won the Dutchess County Democratic Committee nominating endorsement just because I've been a pain in the ass to the power structure for 20 years. And then the Dutchess County Democratic Committee did not collect for him. Only one person in Dutchess County collected for him. Ulster County is on fire for this campaign. Dutchess County is in play. Delaware County and Otsego County are very strong anti-fracking counties. I have strong relationships with, and we can do this. We're reaching out to find folks in every single town, city, and village in the 150 or so towns. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm running for Congress. Forgive me.
Hey, can I ask a question, Joel?
Hold on just 1 second. I swear to we're going to take questions, but there's like 20, 25 people. Every single person here is going to get a chance to ask a question, make a statement. I just want to talk about why I'm against fracking, okay? The number one reason is this. Germany has less sunlight than we do here in New York State, and Germany has solar panels all over the place. You should get those dogs. It's about to be a conflagration right there. Germany has less sunlight than we do. They got solar panels all over the place. There's no reason why we can't go solar like Germany. Also, Dr. Richard Perez of the SUNY Albany School of Atmospheric Sciences, he points out that if we put solar panels on less than 1% of the state's land, we could power the entire state, all right? In May of last year, the Duke University came out with a report that is 1,800% more likely that you're going to have methane in your well if your well was within 1 mile of where fracking is taking place. Okay, 18 times, 1,800% greater likelihood, bless you, of methane if your well is within 1 mile of where fracking takes place. That's point one. Point two, as Cameron points out, 66,000 comments have been made. Okay, and by a 4-to-1, 5-to-1, I think it might even by a 10-to-1 ratio, people are against fracking. Okay, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If the folks drinking water in Syracuse and New York City can be protected, why can't we protect the drinking water for folks here in the Hudson Valley and Catskill region and all across the state? I'll give you another one. Walter Hang of ToxicsTargeting.com worked for NYPIRG for 12 years, struck out on his own. He has looked at the DEC's own files. He's gone through the DEC's own records. There's 270 different cases of fires, explosions, wells being contaminated, and groundwater contamination from natural gas drilling as it is right now already in New York State. Oh, Joel, I don't know about that. Nobody's reporting that. Actually, Hank Gross of MidHudsonNews.com reported that to his credit about a year ago when I spoke up on that at a New Paltz public hearing, because they were talking about allowing fracking in the forests, in the public parks in New York State, believe it or not. But that is the God's honest truth. Walter Hang of ToxicsTargeting.com has looked through the DEC's own records, and as it is right now, because of natural gas drilling over the last 3 decades in New York State, there are 270 cases of fires, explosions, and wells being contaminated from natural gas drilling in New York State as it is right now already. All right? Just so folks are aware. I think that's just about it. The only other thing I wanted to say before we hear from Jay and everybody else here, the state of Ohio, it's no longer something that they may consider. The state of Ohio has now officially said they know that the earthquakes that happened a few months ago were from the fracking. So, you know, it's just really insane what's going on. I'll explain the 1972 buttons, but it goes like this. 40 years ago, we had the OPEC oil embargo. I was in 9th grade. I was 9 years old. In 1972, the OPEC oil embargo may have been a year or two after that. But I thought that over the last 40 years, we were going to make the transition to, solar power and energy efficiency and conservation and wind power and moving towards zero waste and geothermal and tidal and all that. And now it's 2012, and over 90% of our energy is coming from coal still, oil still, nuclear still, and unnatural gas. And it doesn't have to be like that. All right, so I've been talking way too much. I'm going to shut up now and let Woodstock Town Board member Jay Wank, who's endorsed me, and he's also got Ed Sanders to back me as well. There's a big meeting Sunday night, 7 at Jay's house. Jay, if you could say a few words about what the Woodstock Town Board is working on, and then everybody, we could go around the circle.
The Woodstock Town Board is very much opposed to fracking anywhere, not just in Woodstock, but anywhere. The Woodstock Town Board has adopted a resolution prohibiting the importation of fracking waste for use on the roads. The town board is on the verge, waiting for the last few dots to be crossed and T's to be dotted. We're on the verge of adopting a very powerful resolution in relation to the land use that would prevent it. We're also very close to adopting a civil rights ordinance to prevent any possible fracking in Woodstock. Joel is too much of a gentleman to mention this, but his opponent, Julian Schreibman, is very proud of his former employment with the CIA as an attorney. Julian is quite proud of that fact. I do not want another good old boy representing me in Congress. Yeah.
Amen.
he's built in to be part of the good old boy system. I want a representative in Congress who will listen to me. Maurice Hinchey has that record, and Joel Tyner will continue doing that in a big way. And so there's no question about, as a Democrat, who to vote for in the primary. And I hope everybody here will understand that Joel Tyner is the man to support in the primary in June, and then in the election in September, where we're going to defeat Gibson, the Republican. And I'm glad to be here.
Thanks, glad to have you here. And if everybody could just go around the circle, please say your name, where you're from. I'm going to try to get your contact information later if I don't have it. Please say your name, where you're from, and anything else you